Hi, drawing. So, let's check out the last the last drawing assignment that you guys have to do here. So for the last drawing, what you're gonna do is your, you're gonna finish your drawings in progress for the narrative still life, and you're gonna finish them in full value here. So your in progress drawings, you're gonna address any changes that were made, or that were noted in the feedback from your peers and from me. And you're gonna make the little necessary changes to the composition, and then you're gonna add your mark making, whether that be in charcoal or in ink or in pencil, whichever you prefer. Here are some other examples. This was actually for a little bit of a different, this was for my in-person class, so it was 3 pieces. It was 3 drawings. So this was the final project for them, but you guys are only doing one. You're just making sure that there's some relationship between your objects, which you should have set up in your thumbnails and your drawings in progress for the previous week. But what I want to show you in these drawings, and I think I did talk about this a little bit already, but I want to talk about the difference in mark making for these. So this one was done in charcoal. This one was done using hatching, and then I think they used hatching. They started with pencil, and then they used Sharpie and ink to put in the darker mark making to, reach full value. And this one was done using scribbling, using pencil. I actually thought this was pen, but it's pencil. And then they also turned in a statement about the work. And this is kind of what your statement should look like. I'm not going to put this example in the actual assignment description for you guys, because I don't want it to confuse you, but this is, I just want you to be able to read this, so that's why I'm putting it in the video, so you guys at least can refer to the video if you want to read the statement, which is why I'm leaving it on the screen for a couple of seconds here. So this is the file. This is, I just want you to know that you can use other kinds of mark makings other than just charcoal, other than just blended charcoal. Or you can do charcoal, that's fine. If you just want to do blended charcoal, that's fine too. But it's up to you. So, take the opportunity now that you can. This is like the kind of the creative part of this assignment, where you kind of do your final drawing. So, again, you're going to make adjustments to your drawing based on feedback from your peers and from me, or your instructor, whoever your instructor might be. You're gonna render the objects in full value using chiaroscuro. You can use any, this is also a different assignment that I did with my in-person class. You can do any kinds of mark making that you want. It's up to you. So, get creative. If you started in charcoal, you're kind of stuck using charcoal, kind of. There are really, I mean, it is art, so there are some rules here and rules there, but if you can master the techniques, then or if you have a question about it, just email me. I've been getting a couple of questions, and I've been posting them on announcements for you so everybody can see the questions. But you can use any of these techniques. If you are going to, or different approaches to mark making, if you are going to use ink, I would say start in pencil, because once you put the ink down, this is all Sharpie, it's not gonna come back up, obviously. And you don't want to ruin your drawing, or make marks on your drawing unless you kind of know where things are going to go. And I would also say do a test on a separate piece of paper. Use a page in your in your sketchbook, or like just pull out another one of the drawing pieces of drawing paper and fold it in quarters instead of, instead of having to buy a sketchbook, you can just do that and then do some tests so you don't, you know, just put down material on your drawing that you've already spent some time on, and then you kind of like don't like how it turns out. So do some tests first. That's my recommendation. That's kind of why I have them do this. I have them take a piece of paper out of their 18 by 24 inch drawing pad, and I have them fold it in half, and I have them experiment with mark making so that they make all their mistakes on these, which are a little bit, lower risk, and they can experiment a little bit. I will also say, if you use stippling, which is little tiny dots right here, you can use stippling, but I'm just warning you that if you do use stippling, it's going to take you a long time. This is, I don't think I can zoom in much farther than this on my computer, but this is stippling right here. It takes a long time. So if you are going to use stippling, you better use a big fat Sharpie because it takes a long time. I might not recommend it unless you have a lot of time and this is the only class that you're taking, or you just happen to have a lot of time, or if you really want to do it, go for it. But I just want you to know that it's going to take more time than hatching or shading or blending. You can also use two different kinds of techniques. As long as you're achieving a sense of visual unity in the drawing, that is okay too. But just note that if you use it in one place, you probably want to use it in a few places. And then if you use a different kind, you kind of want to use those in a few places too, to make to make the drawing look visually unified. So it should feel cohesive. The drawing entirely should feel cohesive when you look at it. So when I look at this drawing here, there are different kinds of lines, different kinds of hatching, but they're all, they're different, but they're also similar because they're all different kinds of lines. There are thick lines, there are thin lines, but they're all pretty much lines, right? So there's variety, but there's also, repetition within this drawing. Little less the case with this one. Basically the more, scribbles there are, the darker it looks, and the lighter it looks. But just keep in mind that if you do use different kinds of mark making to keep the drawing, try to keep the entire drawing cohesive and visually unified. And you want to, again, with every other drawing, you are going for full chiaroscuro for this assignment, but I will say, as you approach, as you get closer and closer to being finished, try to stay loose. I know that's kind of like it's kind of like what's the word? It's kind of like I'm saying the opposite, right? It's kind of ironic what I'm saying, but as you get closer, you want to continue to stay loose, and you want to try and let the drawing be adjustable and reworkable for the entire duration of you making the drawing, even up to the very end. It's like, is the drawing done? Is the drawing, you have to kind of say to yourself, keep the drawing open enough that you say to yourself, is the drawing done? Is the drawing done? Is the drawing done? Because the longer you can delay adding details and getting really specific about certain things that you see in the drawing, the longer you're going to be able to make adjustments and continue to refine it, and to continue to rework it. So you're only adding super meticulous details to the very last 20 to 25% of the drawing. I always think that drawings that look a little bit unfinished are a little bit more, it's like they breathe a little bit more. It's like you're not kind of like putting the resin on the fossil, right? You let it breathe a little bit. It's okay if it's a little bit unfinished. Leave, if you feel like some parts of it are a little unfinished, it's okay, as long as you're looking at the whole drawing. Like, get into the habit of stepping back from your drawings. Step back from your drawings. Get into the habit of taking like 10 feet, step back 10 feet and continuously, look at your drawing as you're completing it from far away, because you're going to see different things in your drawing from far away than you are close up. So that would be my recommendation as you're working on these. What else can I tell you about this? And then everything else is as usual. You're gonna hear your materials, your here are just some notes. And again, let me look at this for 1 second. So this is the example. I put in a bunch of examples here because I wanted you to see the examples, which are mostly in, minus this last one, are mostly in the in the assignment description, sorry. But when you do turn this in with your written statement should really focus on the ideas, the narrative, right? You can talk about the process, but also talk about the narrative. What objects did you use? Why did you use those objects? Do you think that the narrative is, do you think that your drawing is conveying, getting your ideas across, maybe what you would have done differently? So again, I'm hesitant to put this example in the this PDF in the assignment description because it is a little different. So, but I want you to here's the writing for these 3 drawings. And you can revisit this and take a look and see what this student said about the narrative and about the theme of their drawings. So I'm going to leave it here. If you guys have questions, send me an email. And this is just about actually, before I do end, this is the last drawing we're gonna do. You are gonna have to prepare a portfolio. I will talk about that in the next assignment overview, or I'll just put it in the assignment description because it's pretty straightforward. But you will have to prepare the portfolio. You will either upload it onto OneDrive, or if it fits on Canvas. A lot of people have been having problems uploading on Canvas. So you'll either have to, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And you'll have a little course description, like wrap up evaluation for me. Just so I have, get some ideas of what else you guys might want to have seen in this course. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. And I think there'll be a final critique post. Just follow the modules. And yeah, if you guys have questions, email me and I'll see you on Canvas.